voices inside my head. See voices behind the wall, uplifting the underdog. We fighting above the law.
Okay, now we're live, Kendra, and everybody can see you and hear you.
Good evening.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. We got Benny here, Terry, Kendra's back, and then in a little while, when he's not busy, I do believe Courtney's father, Mr. Struble, will be calling in as well. And if you're in here, Mr. Struble, anytime you would like, if you would like, you can sure call in. Hey, Dalen. Hey, Cheshire. Now, a couple new mods. Thank you for reaching out to me and emailing me and wanting to be a mod for the platform. We tried to let everyone have their open opinions with respect in dealing with these kinds of cases. We know not everything's going to look good. There's always going to be things that make everybody look bad and red flags almost on everybody. But that's why we do this thing, is to try and get the proper answers. So don't be dragging anyone. Let's be respectful. The family, the loved ones all watch this, and even a lot of locals here in Estevan. So let's be respectful, because everyone's sure treated myself and this platform very respectful. And basically, anytime I reach out to Kendra or Nicole or Mr. Struble or Janet, if I reach out to anyone, they're answering me immediately. So they've all been very welcoming and they all want answers. So
Welcome, Kendra.
So Kendra, how do you feel after having your interview out there? You haven't been met with too much hate or backlash, have you?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Awesome. I love to hear that. Now, I kind of want to go over it all again. I know it's like you've been repeating yourself since, the day you met me. I'm sorry, but and every time we do this,
That's okay.
we may have another few new people who haven't heard it before. So, I want to do just a brief rundown to give everyone here an idea. Courtney went missing July 9th, 2004, which was a Friday. So Thursday, July 8th, 2004, Courtney had a sleepover with her friend Kendra here, who's joining us, and we did the interview yesterday with her that aired. Now, Kendra, this was kind of the first time Courtney had come to spend the night at your house, right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us again, was this something that was planned in advance, or how did the sleepover come to happen?
We just she asked me if she could sleep over, so I asked my parents, and they said yes, and we went to go ask Mark.
Okay. Oh, and really quick, Skylar, happy birthday. Thank you for being here, and I hope that you have a great day and that celebrate for a whole entire week. Skylar Palooza. That's what I say. But happy birthday. You're awesome. Okay. So we're asking Mark now, can you go back? Didn't it start that originally Mark wasn't at home, he was working, right?
Yeah, he was still at work. We were waiting for him to come home from work.
What time would that be in real time?
Yeah.
It was probably it would have been before sundown. I don't remember exactly what time it was.
4 to 5, 30s-ish maybe?
Probably around 4-ish.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay.
Thank you, Amesy. Thank you so much for that. Okay, and you had told me yesterday that it was very much last minute. She just kind of called you out of the blue and was like, hey.
Well, I was hanging out for the day.
You were hanging out with her all day Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Tammy Ayo, hello. Okay.
What? How old were you? How old were you? The same age, 14 at the same
I,
time.
I was 18. I had just graduated from school in June.
Okay. Okay.
And you were, again, I know you repeated it 100 times, but can you tell us how you're involved in the Struble family? Is it family friends? Does your dad know him, or like Mark? Or tell us a little bit how you and Courtney even got involved or knew each other.
Well, throughout the year, my sister was hanging out with Shadow, her brother, in high school, and we ended up meeting Courtney later on and started hanging out.
Okay.
So it was just that year that when she first moved in with that I met her, but I knew her brother before.
Okay. And now in that interview, can we kind of go over where is Mr. Cher? Oh, okay.
Before the 8th, had you guys hung out before?
Quite a few times. It was just the first time that we actually
Stayed over.
she stayed over.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
About how many times do you think you hung out before that, approximately?
Pretty much since sometimes during the end of high school.
Okay. So you pretty much hung over at her dad's house with Shadow?
Well, no, we just met up at behind the Wicklow Center and just hung out because
Okay.
there was a room in the basement of the Wicklow Center
Yeah.
where all the kids would meet up during the day and play video games and stuff like that.
Was that involved with the church anyway, Kendra?
I don't know for sure. I just know that an adult had to be there for all the kids to hang out.
Yeah, Benny, I don't think it was a church thing from my research so far. It looked like it was just a teen rec center that opened at about 11 a.m. and closed at about midnight almost every day, except for like holidays. And sometimes, as Kendra was saying in the interview too, it ended up dwindling down because folks just didn't want to spend their time basically babysitting other people's teenagers or whatnot.
Right.
You know, not too much funding in that as well, I assume.
Are you involved in the church there, Kendra?
No.
No. Okay.
Tammy Learns, hello. Phony baloney. I love Terry's background too. Terry, do you have anything on your mind?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
But the background is that park.
When you said,
that they were
Kendra, that
talking.
you had just been hanging out with her since the end of high school, so that was just only like a couple of months, right? You had just graduated, correct?
Yes.
So you've hung out maybe a dozen times or so, safe to say?
Well, we did a lot of hanging out at the rec center.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Every
Thank
day
you,
after
Mom Love.
school and then when the summer holidays started.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because that is where we initially met, me and her anyway.
Mm. And now, can you tell us again, had she ever opened up to you, or since you hung out there, had anything ever come about with Courtney? Maybe you saw a bruise on her. Did she ever show you any bruises? Did she ever confide in you at all about any abuse from her father or his girlfriend?
No. Other than that she did not like Melissa. I'm not entirely sure if she was if she would yell at her or whatever. I'm not entirely sure if any of that.
Did she ever go ahead, I'm sorry, Cher.
So she never actually told you why she didn't like her?
No, she never really told me. She would have told
Did you
her
ask?
best Nicole.
Oh, who's her best friend? Oh, Nicole. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Zena. Hey, C12. Hey,
Did
Miss
you ever
Wednesday.
have
Is
an
that how
issue?
you found out? Oh, I'm sorry, Benny. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Miss Terry.
Is that how you found out from Nicole, or did you find
Well,
out from Courtney?
I was actually the one day that I was there, and we were gonna ask Mark for her to stay the night at my place. I
Mhm.
met
Right.
her, and she was very rude to begin with.
How did
Now,
this? I'm
She
can I
sorry.
initially
ask?
told Courtney that she was not to leave the house.
Mm.
So we waited for Mark to come
Gotcha.
home to ask him, since it was technically up to him.
Did you get a sense from Melissa that she was upset that she had told you no, but you were still going to ask Mark?
Yes, she was. She was upset.
Like
It was
visibly, or I mean, was she saying things like to let you know, or could you just tell she was fuming?
I could tell that she was
Okay.
fumed, especially after she said that she could sleep over. She did not look impressed.
You were 18 then, right?
What was
You were
that?
18?
I was
You were
18,
18
yes.
years old?
So Kendra, so you part ways about noon. You go with your friend who?
Santana.
Santana, and she leaves and walks opposite way with her boyfriend Sam.
Yes.
Was it just Sam she left with? Was it Sam's brothers too?
It was just Sam.
Okay. So about noon that happened. So now fast forward 12 hours after you guys part ways, about give or take, half an hour or so. She's never seen or heard from again, right? How
Not, no.
how did you find out Courtney was missing?
Well, when I went, initially her dad came over to ask me if I knew anything about her sleeping over again. And I told him no. And my mom told him no. And I guess he went to get in touch with the cops after that. And I got interviewed the next afternoon when I went to go meet up with friends at the Wicklow Center
All right,
again.
hold on. I'm sorry. I have to rewind because okay, so when she went missing, when was that? Or when Mark came over and said, "Hey, it's Courtney. Did Courtney spend another night?" Was that
It was,
then the Friday morning he came over and said, "Did she spend the night here?"
no, it
Or
was the evening he was asking if, like, when I guess in
so
the
Thursday evening,
yeah,
like
that
after you and Courtney had
yeah,
already parted ways.
yeah.
What time Thursday evening?
I'm not sure what time, but my dad was in the morning when me and Courtney had left already. He was the only one home, and Mark had come by in the morning to pick her up.
On
My
Friday
dad
morning.
already left.
How old was Sam at the date of her
Um,
disappearance?
Hold.
Probably about 15.
Yeah, he was 15. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. My brain was not computing something here. So I have to go back on this. So you guys parted ways Friday, July 9th, 2004 at noon.
Yeah.
When did Mark come to your house and say, is Courtney spending another night with you, or did she?
That was after I had gotten home after hanging out with Santana and a few other friends. He came by.
So approximate, just give me a guesstimate. What time of day, night was this? Like any
Not
kind of guess.
sure, because I'd have to ask my mom for sure to know a time
Was it
frame.
dark outside? Do you remember?
I think so.
Okay, so it's pretty late at
Sheriff,
night. Hold on, Terry.
Sheriff.
Hold on. I have to finish
Oh,
this.
Because
okay.
Hold
my
on.
dad works, so
Okay. All right. So then he came back Thursday, kind of later at night, and he said, "Where's Courtney?" Like, so he went there looking for Courtney. Where's Courtney?
yeah, he wanted to like make sure, like in the morning he asked where she was, because he came down to get her, and my dad told him that we had went up town to meet up.
Okay, no, hold on. So
That was the when we went up to the Wicklow Center to meet up with
so
friends.
after you did that, that's when Mr. Struble came looking for his daughter.
Well, he initially came, and my dad was the only one there, and he didn't know anything other than that that we left together to go out of town.
So who did Mark ask was Courtney spending another night with you?
Asked me and my mom when he came again, same day when I was back at home.
The evening of the 9th of July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he came 2 times. He came once. You weren't there because you and Courtney were wandering off, whatever. So
Yeah.
then Mark left, and then
I only
and
know
then-
that my dad recently told me that he had talked to him that morning when me, my mom, and Courtney were already left the house.
Right.
So.
Okay. And okay, so that happened, but you guys had already walked off, whatever. So then you part ways before you come home. You and Courtney part ways, right? So then Mark came back a second time in the evening and said,
Yeah.
"Where's Courtney?"
Yeah, asked me if she was actually spending the night, if she was there.
And you said what?
Me and my mom both said we didn't know anything about it.
But you must have said, "Hey, we parted ways at noon. She went with Sam at the veterinary clinic."
Yeah, I did. And that's when he went to I'm not entirely sure exactly what time that would have been when he would have went to the cops about that. If he went the next morning hoping that she would come home that night or not. I'm not entirely sure because I don't know exactly when the cops found out. I just know the next day when I went to meet up with friends, possibly with Courtney, I didn't know anything was wrong. And I was met with some cops talking with some of the friends already. And that's when I got told and was asked if I was one of the last people.
So it was Dad that reported her missing, not Mom, who like the original first person to report Courtney missing. It was Dad on top of it right away.
Yeah, because he would have known that if she wasn't with me and that then she was with Sam and she wasn't supposed to be with a boy. And I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he told us too, that she was only 13. She's not supposed to be dating. And I could totally. Yeah, word.
Yeah, I didn't know she was until the next day when the police went to the Wicklow Center to find all of us that would normally meet and talk to all of us about it. So that's when I initially found out.
Okay. And now I hear that some other friends had done polygraphs and everything. And you said you can't remember if you did one.
Yeah, I still have to ask my parents. It's just my husband was gone for the night for work, so couldn't really leave, walk over to my parents when they got home from work or anything like that. Yeah. When the kids are asleep. So
Who all from the center was given polygraphs that you remember?
I didn't even know that everybody was given polygraph. I know it was Mark and the 2 boys were
And
polygraphed.
you said you were not given one?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Struble, if you could call in, I sent you the link again. It'd just be much easier for you to just
Earlier on, he
respond.
said that he thought her best friend was named Jessica, not Nicole.
If I haven't spoken to a Jessica, I've spoken to who I've been told is her best friend by multiple sources have led me to the same girl, and when I say like who is her relationship, I'm told it was her best friend. So
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, Mr. Struble. That's makes sense. 13's young.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's young.
Now, would you allow it like in a group setting? Like maybe if you were there and it was like, 3 or 4 kids hanging out or something like that. My son Seth, he's 13 and he's always like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend or whatever," but I knew it was nothing serious.
Hmm.
He just wanted to spend my money at the dollar store to bring her a little present.
I didn't start dating until I was 18, so
And that was
Hmm.
Santana, correct?
yes, I met with Sam.
Oh, so you didn't start dating. So was Sam your first boyfriend?
No,
Okay.
there was another guy that I had dated for just before graduation, and we parted ways, yeah, a week before graduation. So that was my first boyfriend. After that, I really didn't date anybody until I dated Sam. I wasn't really ready for any other guy.
Mm.
Had Courtney ever mentioned dating anyone before Sam?
No,
Not
just
that you
that
know, or no, you don't. You know she hadn't.
her, as far as I know, her and Sam were on and off.
So he was the first guy.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Why were they on and off? Do you have any understanding about that?
Don't know why they were on and off. I do know that they were in an off part with when we met up. Like we ended up going over there the night before, like when we went for a walk in the rain, and we just ended up at the vet to dry off a little bit, and that's when I found out that she was hanging out with Sam and that they had been dating, and then they decided to kick back up, I guess.
Hmm. Did
Do
she
you
ever
know?
talk to you about being bullied at school?
No.
Hmm.
Is there anybody that may have lived on the route that you guys knew was kind of a shady character, or maybe someone that had some trouble with the law that was on that route?
No.
No.
We weren't really afraid to walk throughout Estevan. We weren't afraid of anything like that.
Okay. Okay.
Great question, and I hope we can get that to you. Because, yeah, 13, 14, 15. Courtney was almost 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, her birthday was just after she went
Mm.
missing.
How were you and Courtney friends? I mean, that's a big age difference. Like, for girls to be friends at that age.
Yeah, I was friends with a lot of my sisters and brothers' friends because I guess I got along better with the younger crowd than my group at the time. I was
Mhm.
shy, awkward type. Wasn't really good at making friends. So, and playing video games and being into things that the younger crowd was into.
So, was there like this active
Gotcha.
plan that all the kids knew, not to talk about Sam around Mark? Like, were all the kids kind of keeping up for Courtney, keeping her secret about Sam?
Mm.
I didn't even know about Sam until that night that we ended up over there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because you'd have to wonder that if Dad, wasn't really wanting much of that activity, that it would have to be kind of a concerted effort with a group of kids to kind of keep that on the low key. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. I didn't know that that she was dating him because I would have said something to Mark.
You would have said something to Mark?
Yes, I would have probably slipped up and said something about Courtney dating Sam if I would have known.
Why? Why do you
Because
think you would do that?
because I don't like keeping a secret from a parent. I know my parents would have liked to know who I was dating and when.
So you've got good home training.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
What do you know about some whispers outside Courtney's window at night?
I didn't know anything about that. I only know about that because I was watching the session with Mark.
Can I ask
And
you
that's okay, Mr. Struble. Sorry, Benny. That's okay. Thank you for tuning in and answering questions. And you sure don't have to. And you guys, yeah, he's been to every show. Every time I've done a live about his daughter, he's been here, even while he's at work or stuffing his face at family holidays. He's made it a point to be here and answer questions for y'all. So just a reminder to keep everything respectful as you've been doing. It's looked fine in the chat, so thank you.
Kendra, as far as you know, was it like Canadian girl? Was it like the Canadian dream for young girls in that area to want to make the trip over to the States and go to Hollywood and all that good stuff?
I'm not entirely sure. I wasn't keen on leaving Canada. I'm still not keen.
Well, you had just mentioned in the interview yesterday that maybe that was a possibility. I just wondered if there was anything you could elaborate about with that.
Yeah, just on the Courtney Struble's Facebook thing there. There was last year, I think, or was maybe a year or so earlier. There was some chatting underneath her case about that a friend of hers knew that she was chatting with some kind of trucker on MSN.
Okay.
And that was the first time I ever heard anything like that.
I'm sorry, wait, how did you hear that? How did that come about?
It was
Who said that?
I'm not sure who it was, but it's on that Courtney help find Courtney.
Oh, that Facebook page, yeah. Yeah,
it was
from
underneath
several years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
When you heard that, was it like, no, not Courtney, she wouldn't do that? How did you feel when you heard that?
Well, I felt like that's something that maybe the cops might want to know or something like that.
Okay.
Hey, Catalan. And what do you think about that? You think that's an option?
I don't think she would have went willingly with a trucker.
When she spent the night with you, what'd she have with her? Do you remember? Just try and take a minute and try and close your eyes if you have to. What did she have with her? Her wallet? Anything? Makeup? Clothes? What did she have with her when she was with you? When she left and parted ways Friday afternoon?
Well, when we went to leave, we stopped at her dad's and she dropped off her wet clothes. Wet pajamas, and then we went up. So we might have just missed Mark when he went to go down to possibly pick her up.
Right, but you guys are leaving again. She had plans to walk around, go meet up with Sam, so she brought her wallet with when you all left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we dropped by her dad's place and she dropped off the clothes quick and we kept going.
Okay, but she left that time. She had her wallet when she left with you to go with Sam.
Yes.
So how do you feel about her wallet being found at home?
I don't know how it would have been unless she did leave it and I didn't notice that she didn't take it with her. As far as I know, she still has.
But there was talk that the The wallet
I know she
popped up
had
allegedly
clothes.
in a trucker's cab, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that was probably another false.
it is. For facts, it's false. I know it's not true. I've
Because there
seen
was a
the
lot
wallet.
of false for months, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of false tips. Do you happen to know any of the friends that were calling in the false tips to help so that Courtney wouldn't get in trouble?
No, I don't know who it was because it was tips. The cops wouldn't have given out names, so and I didn't know many of Courtney's other friends that I never met.
Mhm. What are you thinking, baby?
Because she was one of those people that was really easy to become friends with.
Hmm.
I don't think they're easy to become friends with. I'm just curious. Like, what was it about her? What
She's
was
just
it about her? Go ahead.
she was just bubbly, very nice, easy to chat with, easy to talk to.
Wow.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I asked you in that what, Terry?
I was just going to ask her. I don't know what it was like back then, but did you call Mark Struble Mark or Mr. Struble?
I always called him Mark.
I know that's a weird question, but when I was a kid, everybody was Mr. and Mrs. So I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really called him Struble.
Having a storm,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I thought I was here in stormy weather.
Oh yeah, we're getting it finally. Kendra, how many times were you interviewed by the police or the different agencies?
Well, I remember the one first interview up at the Wicklow Center. And then the next time I was interviewed, I guess it was, my mom said it was quite a few times that I was re-interviewed and re-interviewed by the same set of like the Estevan cops at home. I just don't remember any of that.
Okay. And you don't remember again if you took a polygraph, correct?
Yeah, I would have to
Okay.
ask my mom if she remembers if I ever did or not.
Okay. Okay.
Because there's so many things that were taken during the stressful times.
Oh, absolutely. I completely understand that.
I don't even remember much between the ages of 19 and when I was able to go out and drink. I guess I drank to a point where my memory would be wiped quite a bit.
Now, Kendra, tell us again too, because you said it as soon as I started reading about this case. When you first started hanging out with Courtney and Sam and them, when you first went to the vet clinic to hang out, you had told me it was like real creepy and stuff. Can you tell? I would
Well,
imagine.
it was a creepy vet office in the middle of the night, with a couch and a TV set up. With it looked like metal instruments and stuff like that around. It was creepy to me because it was the first time ever seeing the inside of a vet office like that, especially in the dark.
Did you think it was strange that the kids were just allowed to be up there like that?
Yeah, I did.
But
Did you feel
Dad
like
was there too, right? Or no?
At the vet clinic, I don't remember ever seeing Sam's dad.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't have an animal. I didn't go to the vet clinic.
So you were just invited there to hang out and party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever get the vibe that maybe you weren't supposed to be there?
Maybe that's why I found it creepy, and I really wanted to just dry off a little bit, warm up, and get out of there and back home.
Okay. Had you ever heard about anything bad happening there during parties or anything?
No,
No fights or any of that kind of jazz?
no, I never
Okay.
like that.
Mm.
I thought it was strange that the dad would allow. Like, I didn't even know that there was a living quarters in the clinic.
Yeah, it just seems like that's kind of the kind of environment you don't want a bunch of kids partying in, right? It's your career. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like if kids got in trouble there, you know, your business would be attached to that trouble too. So
Yeah.
that seems strange. Do you know if did they have a lot of drugs inside the clinic? Are you aware of?
No, I didn't do.
As far as like animal drugs or different things.
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Like if he kept it under lock or where it was or anything
Right.
like.
Okay.
Amanda who? I'm not sure. I don't think so. No. I know who owned the vet clinic. We're not going to say because it was like name owned. We're not going to do that. Now you had told me when I asked Kendra, I'm going to ask you the same question actually. Number one theory in your head, what you think happened to Courtney that night?
Well, if they weren't watching movies and they were partying at the fire pit, and drinking, who knows exactly what happened other than if she did take the ride home with the other brother, he could have done something.
And
Sam's older brother, correct?
Yeah, Sam's older brother.
So you don't think she left the vet clinic that night is what you feel? Or
Yeah, I don't think if she did leave the vet clinic, it wasn't she would have said no to the ride if she did leave the vet clinic. I don't know
What's
about the theory.
What's Sam's older brother's name?
Thomas.
Oh, Thomas. I only know that because I looked it up on Facebook, like before the video aired and stuff, because I didn't remember.
And so you think that instead of watching movies, maybe they were partying, and what you had said to me was that they were maybe partying out there where they could be drinking and partying where people wouldn't see, and there was like some bushes and trees out there. So at 13, she would be drinking and partying?
Who knows? I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know exactly if she would have done that or if they actually did sit and watch the movies.
And you had said you didn't really hang out with this group of kids. It wasn't until a while after Courtney had gone missing before that this friend circle kind of became your friend circle. You started hanging out with them more and partying with them and getting to know them more.
Yeah.
Can you?
I was 21-ish, I think. 21, 22 when I actually dated Sam, I do believe.
Okay.
For that week. And during that time period, I did end up getting a ride up to the, it was dark, so I don't know where the big giant hole was where they had the fire pit, but it was pretty dark out there, and it was just just us, the brothers, drinking with a big bonfire, and I almost fell in. So,
did you ever see Thomas after Courtney went missing?
No, I have not seen him since I dated Sam.
Was there any talk like maybe Thomas was acting strange after she went missing or anything like that?
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
seen him or heard from him or about him even.
You know, not even rumors, huh?
No.
Did you hear any rumors about anybody?
Other than everyone was still blaming Sam and Mark. They were thinking it was one or the other or something like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Struble, do you know if the owner, or actually, I'm just gonna, I can text someone. The owner, by the way, of the vet clinic. Sorry, I'm talking to some of her friends. The owner of the vet clinic was actually very well liked by like everybody in the town. Apparently, it was super normal for the kids because Sam's father had health issues where he's a bigger man, from what I'm told. I don't know if you know this, Kendra, or if you can.
Yeah, I remember he was a bigger man and he died years after of a heart attack, I do believe.
Okay. So I believe they had living quarters at the vet because sometimes due to his health issues, he'd work all day or whatever, and then he would end up just staying there and not go home. So I guess it was fairly common because there was living quarters in there that, some of the kids would hang out there. But apparently, like the owner of the vet at that time was very well liked in the community, and everyone wanted like line up to bring their animals there. Yeah, he sounds like Dr. Doolittle of Estevan. I don't know.
Yeah, I really didn't know him because I didn't have any animals around that time. So, because my dad was allergic, I wasn't allowed an animal.
Can you go a little more into why, like, it gave you the creeps? What gave you the creeps? Were they maybe like joking? Maybe Sam and them were joking, I don't know. You know how
Oh,
boys can get or
It was
whatever.
the second I walked in, it looked really, really dark and creepy.
So they
Like
keep all the lights off and everything, even though having
the light.
people over?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There was just this couch and the TV and DVD player sitting a sitting space. And he
Do
came
you
out with towels for me and Courtney to dry off.
I don't think they do, Sweet D. We wouldn't be able to get them in Canada because I believe it's privacy in Canada. You can't get people's records like that.
Yeah.
But
You
I
mean
do believe.
RSOs?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you know if it was the fire pit was actually at the clinic, or if maybe you were driven out to some farm where that fire pit was, or was it for sure somewhere around that clinic?
It was somewhere close, like where I wasn't going too far out from the beef eater.
Okay.
It was just really dark and I had already been drinking, so.
But you were pretty sure it was somewhere at that where the vet clinic location is.
Somewhere out back, way out.
Way out back there.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a pretty big hole.
Like big, how everyone kept talking about how teeny tiny you look. Now I'm 5'5". How tall are you?
I think I'm like 5'3".
Okay. Was the fire pit deeper than you are tall?
Well, yeah, definitely.
How about me?
They had quite a bit of wood in there. They were just throwing big long boards like that you would use for a fence and burning them. It was pretty like wasn't just deep, it was pretty big and round. Like they would have dug it with some kind of big machine or something. That's what it looked like.
I don't know if anyone asked, but in case I might have missed it, but Kendra, what did you do that night?
I stayed at home.
You just hung out at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
After I was done hanging out with my friends and went home when I was supposed to be home. That's where I stayed.
Alrighty.
What was your curfew, Kendra?
Well, I don't think I really had a curfew. I think my parents just knew that they could trust me. I used to go in the middle of the night if I couldn't sleep. I used to go outside for a quick walk up the down, a walk or ride my bike around the trailer park just to get some fresh air, to get my brain to stop thinking so I could fall asleep.
Kendra, were you drunk that night?
No, I didn't drink till, like, I didn't drink around Courtney.
Do you think it would be? Do you think you could ask your other friends that had been there to the vet? Could do you think you could actually locate where this burn pit actually was?
I could probably ask, see if I can get a hold of Sam even myself and ask him.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I think it would be very
I've asked
educating.
Sam already if he would come and interview with us.
Because I don't know who all else went out there, because it was when I went out with Sam out to the fire pit, it was his younger brother.
That's what I was
And
thinking, Mr. Struble. Do you think it was a pit used for like the carcasses or, animals that passed at the vet?
could have been, and they just used it as a bonfire pit too, for all I know.
But if it was for the vet, then it'd have to be close to the vet. But we're not sure if it was by the vets or away from the vets, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'd love to meet you back out there again sometime, Kendra, because I'm just curious. Like, it was so long ago and it was dark and everything, but I'm just curious, like,
Yeah,
if we
a lot
started
of those,
walking around there, like where,
yeah,
maybe
and
we'd
there was
remember.
there was a lot of buildings that are there now that were never there.
We're never there.
Like, it was probably just the vet clinic and then just wide open space in that whole back area where all the other buildings were on the other side of that gravel road.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up with Courtney's dad on Saturday, and definitely let him say his side on everything. 'Cause that's it. That's something that went in my head, Mystic Firefly, when I first come across the story right away. I'm like, hold on, this is very weird. Offered a ride, didn't take the ride, middle of the night. What is going on here? So I had the same thoughts till I started talking to people. Do you think you could draw a little sketch of what the fire pit looked like?
Well, it was just a big hole with a bunch of wood in it.
Well, if this was near the vet clinic, is it not able to be located now?
I'm not sure if it'd be able to be located because they might have filled it up and maybe even put one of those buildings on it if it wasn't in the same area as what the vet clinic is at right now. Like if there's some of the buildings that were built later on might have been built over top of the hole, the fire
I
pit.
don't remember exactly where it was at.
Like there's lots of buildings that are built along the other part of the vet clinic, and then there's some like mobile type home things set up along the other side and stuff.
Hmm.
It would be in the video that you would have seen those buildings.
Right,
And
right.
those were never there when back in 2000, like back when even in 2008-9, it was still pretty empty because Sam's dad still owned it.
Have you ever been to Sam and Thomas's house proper, like where the family lives?
No. I don't even know where they lived originally.
Is that better? Sure.
Okay.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're here.
Okay, good. Do I sound better?
Did you have a cell phone at the time, Kendra?
I had a flip phone, and I still can't find it. I had it before we moved to Torquay, like a year ago at least, and I was hoping to find it and charge it up and see if there's any pictures of me and Courtney on it or something.
Oh, it had a camera on it?
Yeah, it was one of the first ones that had a camera. It was a Virgin Mobile flip phone.
Okay. About how many times would you say you've talked to Sam since?
Not really much. After we dated, I don't remember really talking to him much. I started hanging out with other people like Little G and them instead.
But you could still reach him. Do you have his
I
phone
have
number?
him on Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. Good old Facebook. Okay.
She spent Thursday night with Kendra. Courtney went missing on Friday night around 11:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. Kendra and Courtney parted ways about noon, about 12 hours before the disappearance. Courtney spent the night with Kendra Thursday night, the night before she went missing.
And it was raining that night, so we were splashing around in the puddles.
Oh, we're definitely going to be trying Sweet D. We're definitely going to be trying to figure out what we can find out about this pit. Because you know what? I mean,
Well,
far as
someone's got to know where it was.
there has to be something, yes, at a vet like that, because
As far as I know, they did some ground penetrating radar, some
I wonder if
aerial.
I bet it's
around.
back out closer to the Humane Society.
You know, I tell you, if the
Is
hole
that by the
was
vet?
5 feet deep, you know, if they've put buildings out in that area, they've run plumbing and foundation work and all that other jazz. So they would have went pretty deep down in to set up, you know, a larger structure. So
Yeah.
You know, I
As
do
far as
they
I
build over top of stuff all the time and exhume, you know, old cemeteries where they're going to build?
well, as far as I know, they did a bunch of aerials and ground penetrating radar around the area in which they thought that she might have went missing. Where was she seen last?
They told you that they did all that?
Well, that's what it says in the reports that I've
You
seen.
have the reports?
No, it was all on that Courtney Struble help
Gotcha.
find Courtney Struble
Oh,
Facebook.
so Facebook page.
Yeah. where I heard all that kind of stuff that was done.
Is that page still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I'm a part of that one too.
Okay.
It doesn't have much to do with Courtney per se. I mean, she's on there, but it's mostly for like a lot of missing kids and stuff.
Yeah. Whenever there's a missing person, they'll post it.
Her family does, her aunt and mom and all of them.
So it does kind of narrow it down. It's either something happened along the walk, or something happened relatively close to the veterinarian clinic. I mean, you're really limited, in a geographical sense. Now, if she was taken during the walk, that does open up a whole lot of different geographics. Something across the border potentially is a play now. But if it wasn't that, then it does certainly narrow it down to just there at the vets, doesn't it?
It would narrow down to somewhere in Estevan if somebody wanted, like, if she's not on the clinic area, could be one of the valleys that we have out here, or somewhere far distance if they wanted to hide.
Would you say that there's a lot of drunk drivers out that way? Like, did people like to drink and drive and kind of booze cruise
There was
and stuff?
a lot of drinking and driving, booze
There's
cruising.
what?
There was a lot of drinking and driving, booze cruising.
Burning. Burial, burning, incarceration, rendering, and composting. Forgetting how vets get rid of past animals.
I got one of my past animals cremated and put in a special holder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was in 2015. No, 2013. Yeah, 2013.
I mean, I kind of thought from the beginning, walking in the night.
If she wanted to, like, if she didn't want anyone to know that she was meeting up with somebody else, like another friend, and wasn't planning on going home, she should probably have taken the ride either. She would have walked to wherever she was going to meet up with somebody.
So she probably would have made calls from the vet's office to whomever she was going to meet up with, right?
Yeah, because how would she know who she was going to meet up with? How would they know the time or anything? She had no cell phone or nothing.
Well, if she would have stopped, if she's ever stopped at the, if she ever went on the computer or the library.
No, they're closed because she went missing between 11:30 and 1 a.m.
Yeah, but I mean, like, beforehand, before meeting up with me, she could have made extra plans after.
Yeah, but you want to talk to somebody when like 12 hours go by in between time. Yeah, sure, I'm going to make plans, you say, before you left. So did she talk to anybody with you before you?
Not.
Yeah, so definitely she would have had to find some time then within leaving you at noon and meeting someone at midnight. And you're saying even before noon, she didn't talk to anyone. So, like, I'm sorry, but you have to touch base with somebody before you just go meet them. Definitely within 12 hours time. And you're saying it was even more than that before she was on a phone with somebody. So
you got
no
to
way
imagine
in hell do I believe she was meeting somebody. Sorry, I just don't. Because that makes no sense.
That's the theory that's been out there since the beginning. That if she didn't take the ride, she would have been meeting up with somebody if she didn't go home. Or she was picked up side of the road.
But either way,
candy boobs.
So, but I mean, do you think that she would have been able to leave the veterinary's office without telling the people that were remaining there where she was going? It certainly seems as if whoever she left at the vet clinic knew exactly where she would have been going, correct?
Probably. It was, as far as I know, it was just Sam and his older brother.
You guys,
It
I
was
know who Nikki B is. We are in contact every day. Don't worry. So she will be telling her side soon. So please don't worry. Okay, sorry, Kendra, go ahead.
yeah. There's like the only ones that would anything that she was actually hanging out with that night would have been Sam and his older brother Thomas.
Right.
Otherwise, the last time I seen her and spoke with her was when she went with Sam. I only know certain other things from what other people say on the Facebook page.
So tell me, Kendra. Okay, so she came over Thursday night. She didn't have a cell phone of her own, but you had a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Where I was like $20 for a certain amount of minutes a month.
yeah, okay, so she used your cell phone Thursday night?
No, I don't think.
Did she use your phone Friday at all? Friday?
No, because
So how did she know to meet up with Sam?
well, we just were walking. We didn't end up we didn't know that we
You
were
didn't
gonna
know
end.
you were going to run into Sam. So everyone all of a sudden just shows up at the Wicklow Center. Everybody's there. I'm assuming that's pretty common. And she
Yeah.
says, hey, I'm going to take off with Sam.
Yeah.
Does she say, hey, cover for me if my dad's looking for me or anything?
No,
Tell him I'm with you. So she just said, bye, Kendra. I'm going with Sam. You said, all right, see you later. I'm going with Santana. That was
pretty
it.
much. Yeah.
All right. So she wasn't meeting up with no one unless her boyfriend gave her a phone to use to make plans to meet up with somebody else.
Yeah, probably. The only way that it would have been.
Okay.
So now I got a little more understanding. She walked away from the veterinary clinic where her boyfriend was at.
Yeah.
Well, her went
supposedly, allegedly.
up the night before, and we dried off there, and we walked back to my place.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's go back. So you went to the vet clinic Thursday night as well?
Yeah, that's when I seen the vet clinic for the first time.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so you were all the vet clinic. So you met Sam. You met Sam on Thursday night.
So we were soaked. He went and grabbed towels for us to dry off a little bit and warm up, and we chatted for a little bit, and then I told her that it was time to get going back.
Okay, so you guys, hold on. Let me go through this. Sorry, my brain is blowing up right now. Hold on. July 8th, Thursday, July 8th, because she went missing between 11:30 p.m. and 1 a.m. on July 9th, 2004. So July 8th, Thursday night, you guys were at the damn veterinary clinic hanging out, whatever is creepy.
Well,
were you guys drinking and partying?
No, we just went there because she said that because we were at the beefeater area corner when we were getting cold and wanted to dry off, and it would have been a long walk back, so she suggested that we went that little bit further to dry off for a few minutes and then head back. And we got back and we changed out of the wet clothing and went to sleep.
All right. I'm having some problems understanding. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So Thursday, how did she get to your house?
We walked from Mark's down to the trailer park.
To your trailer. Yeah. Okay, so then you guys are there. And then you guys say, hey, let's go walk in the rain, which I get. I've done that. If it's warm out in July,
nice and warm.
I get that. Mm-hmm.
We were in our days and we were just splashing around. And when we lost track of time, and when we realized that we were getting a little too wet, need to dry off, we were pretty far from the trailer park, so she suggested to go to Sam's.
Walk to the vet clinic.
Well, I didn't know it was the vet clinic. She just Sam's.
Because that's quite a walk. It's quite a walk. So you guys were walking, minutes, whatever. Right? Yeah. So then you ended up at the vet clinic. You're like, oh my gosh, we're wet. Let me go in here, grab a towel. Sam gets you towels. You dry off. Then you go back out and you walk back to your house. What time
Yeah,
was this when you guys got
it
back and finally went back to bed?
probably around 2, 3 a.m.
So early Friday morning. And so then you guys go to sleep. You wake up and you're like, hey, let's go walk to the Wicklow Center, something to do, whatever, summer vacation. And then
Yeah,
boom, all your friends are there. Sam's there, her boyfriend, because she didn't use no phone. So everyone just was there same time at about noon on
everyone
a
always,
Friday.
if anybody wanted to hang out with friends, we'd all just meet there. It was just easier. If
Okay.
not every phone, we'd just meet up at noon to decide on who was going with whom, hanging out and whatnot.
Okay. And then you never heard from her. She didn't text from Sam's phone or on MSN or nothing. You heard nothing else from her when you parted ways at noon.
No.
So to meet somebody or make plans with somebody, she would have had to use either Thomas's or Sam's phone.
Yeah.
Because at this time, there's not going to be a library open or anything that
Yeah.
late, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the phone at the vet, right?
Yeah, she could have used that to call somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, the vet
Like,
phone. Yeah.
if she knew if she knew phone numbers off the top of her head, she would have just used that phone, maybe without Sam and them knowing.
Puka Shell, please be kind to Nikki B. Now listen, the emotions for everybody are high, dragging this, like going through this again 17 years later. Nikki B was Courtney's best friend, or at least one of Courtney's best friends that I've been told by numerous people. So the way Kendra has her truths on her side isn't going to be the same. She had a very different relationship than what Nikki B, what her truths are, what her story is, and what her relationship to Courtney. So we need to be kind. And of course, people are going to be angry, and that is okay. They are the ones that are entitled to having all of these feelings. So please just let it be. But I am going to end this tonight because this is the second night in a row we've just been grilling Kendra. Kendra, thank you so much for doing this again.
Yeah, no problem.
Just like I said, so many questions, and I'm trying to like compute it all because I'm hearing new things also. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on.
I wanted to say a few things last night extra, but it was getting late and there wasn't really, like, that's why I also put in there at the end about the carnies, just because I remembered about that. There's just a few things after the session last night that I had remembered.
And you can reach out at any time if things come up. I don't want you to have to like rush through this. Like, we're here. We're not going anywhere. We're here to help find answers. It's not like today or tomorrow, or I'm here to write an article and then I'm gone tomorrow, like what has happened in the past. So if you're, a couple days go by, oh, hey, I remember this, reach out to me. And if you want to come on here, or like, hey, share, can you set up another live so I can tell this or that to people? I can sure do that for you.
Yeah,
Don't rush through it and just be comfortable in what you're doing.
Questions and rewatching the videos, I remember other things randomly.
Yeah.
Too.
And that's very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry, what are you thinking?
Can you maybe
Wow.
see those?
Oh, but then
Benny, you're all distorted. So Terry, go ahead. What are you thinking, hon?
I am thinking that we definitely drilled Kendra to death. We sure, and we definitely appreciate you taking the time. I'm wondering, I can't get that big fire pit out of my mind.
Yeah, neither can I, after remembering that I was at the fire pit, that who knows if Courtney was hanging out with them at the fire pit or not, or
And
if
I
she
do
was.
think that I mean, I say we, I don't mean like literally we can find it. I mean, like if it existed, we can find out where it existed
Yeah.
and if
Somebody
it's still
should,
there.
Hmm.
especially
Right. I
whoever.
mean, yeah. Or City Hall should, you
Yeah,
know, have a
because they would have
record.
they would still have
Right.
kind of position a place where it might have been.
Mm.
Should be in the records
Right.
because it was dating him after they were cleared.
Hmm.
Xena, you'd have to be more specific because there are creepers at that place right now.
Yeah. Any creepers that you thought were maybe watching you or Courtney or both at all, or maybe even up to like a week prior? Had you guys noticed any weirdos around or lurking or watching you?
Nope, I don't remember seeing anybody watching us. The streets were pretty empty the night that we went for that walk while it was raining.
Mm.
Yeah, they would be at
Yeah,
that
I
time of
guess
night.
so. You know,
Mhm.
and even when you guys went at night, it just seemed like a dark and lonely area to
Mhm.
be. And I don't think you guys were there real late at night.
Mm-mm. It was like
It
7:30.
was just at night. But damn, when you were there with Kendra, it's like, you know, during the day or at least during the light, it's busy, you know, with the trucks and everything. That was the same area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys dropped those purple, green, and blue hearts for Courtney, justice for Courtney, and love and support for the family and loved ones. Hey, gamer guy. Good to see you back. And yes, you guys, there's lots of other people to have their side said too. And again, Kendra knows if there's anything that comes up, she knows that the platform is open to her. Thank you everyone for being kind. And Kendra, I know we're grilling you and I apologize, but you're a good sport and I appreciate it. It's just we want to make
Yes,
sure
thank
we're
you.
doing the
yeah.
best that we can and get all of the
The,
answers
the
that we
cops
can.
really didn't try very hard.
They didn't
They,
try very
they,
hard.
as far as I know, they didn't interview very often.
Am I
And
grilling harder than the RCMP did?
well, our never got in contact with ever.
That's interesting.
Wow.
That's
Are you
interesting.
able to like ask people, um, like, do you know people who knew where the fire pit was? You know, to that maybe if you talk to a few people, you could, you know, figure out where it was located
Hmm.
or no?
Probably, I could probably try and see if any of them
Okay, that would be
Yeah.
remember.
cool.
Yeah.
Because
And
that,
I'll ask people too. That's okay, Mr. Struble. We'll meet up on Saturday and sit down and it'll be good. Now you've kind of heard, for a while, so I'm sure you but thank you for trying and have a good rest of the night at work. Thank you for always being here. He missed the first show and
Mhm.
he's been here ever since. Like I said, if he's at work, he's got it on listening and try to answer when he can. Nikki B was in the chat. Yes, I've been in touch with her from day one, and she will be on to tell her side too. We'll be setting up her interviews, and there's several other people as well, and hopefully Sam as well, because he's been cleared, so there's
yeah,
no harm in it. But it definitely would be nice to talk to him and kind of
because he
get
was,
his side.
yeah, because he was one of the last people that everyone else remembers was the last person to see her. So
And what about
he,
Kendra? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
No,
It's
please
okay.
go ahead.
it's just it would be nice to hear everybody's stories of the last time they've seen her, so then we can all piece together where she kind of was with nobody, maybe
Mhm.
around that time period, where if she was with, like, if she did disappear, when exactly the time period was with all the interviews.
Mm.
And what about Kendra's mother? Have you thought about interviewing her?
If your mom would like to, Kendra, we sure can.
I don't know. She's pretty busy with work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to end this tonight. Benny, did you have any final thoughts on this one?
No, the only thing that was lingering for me was to see if we could, maybe ask if we could have Kendra ask if a few of the kids or people from the pit that's what I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
About that fire pit. I already asked for him.
Yeah. That's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to know where it was. It was pretty dark and I wasn't driving, so I got driven in and I got driven home. So
I'm not gonna lie, I can relate to that 100%.
I see you, Patty.
Hey, Patty, I very much was the same way. I've never been one really that likes driving, anyways, but I would never go far when I had to drive, so I just knew where I had to go. Don't ask me street names. Don't ask me how to get anywhere. I just turned my phone on GPS, which I believe was made for me specifically. I put my GPS on, even when I know where like I'm supposed to go. I put that fucking GPS on and I just drive. I don't know where I'm going. I don't ask me street names, nothing.
Yeah, I've lived in Esmond for quite a while, and I still don't know half the street names. I just know the way, like the routes that I take.
Well, Mr. Share, any final thoughts on this?
No. It's good to see. I know we missed a lot of questions, but we can only ask so many.
Yeah, sorry
So, yeah,
guys.
keep asking your questions, and we'll try and get them answered. A lot of questions we don't know the answer, and Kendra doesn't know, so we didn't bother asking. But yeah, the
Yep.
fire pit thing, I don't think was actually on the vet property, but we'll get to the bottom of that.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
Even if you have to walk away from it some.
Yeah, might even be in city records, like, or with the police. They might have tried to search it or something like that. I don't know.
Did they have a fire that night when you were at the vet clinic? Was there a fire going?
No.
No.
It was
okay.
all, there wasn't. Sam was the only one there, as far as I know. He went and grabbed us towels. We dried off. She wanted to stay, and I told her no. That we were going to go back to.
She wanted to stay.
She wanted to stay with her boyfriend.
And you said no, because like your dad's going to be looking for you.
Yeah, well, I was responsible for her that night because she was staying the night with me. I didn't think it was right to leave her there. I told her she was coming back with me and she can say goodbye to Sam for the night.
There you go.
Okie dokie.
Maybe if you wouldn't mind just, running it by your mom or your mother,
Yeah,
What is the dark?
I'd appreciate that.
because I think tomorrow's Thursday. I think is one of her days off from work. I can chat with her and see if she remembers if I was ever, how many times I was reviewed by the city cops, and if I ever got a polygraph done, or if I ever told her anything that I don't remember.
Right, and see if she'd be willing to help and, be interviewed. Can't hurt.
Yeah, I could ask.
She gets a day off every now and then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. I just want to help find what happened.
Yeah. Us too.
I was trying to share a link, darn it, but it wasn't working. And it sounds like bubble wrap or bubble, like
There's something squeaky.
It's Benny, it's not me.
not me.
Everything
Honey,
is Benny's fault.
her friends never said to me she was dating. Yeah, you know, that's fairly normal. They wouldn't want daddy to know. Yeah, Mr. Struble, I'm sorry.
I only found out that night, but I
That
didn't want to
night.
leave. Yeah, and I didn't want to leave her there alone with him.
Can I
And
ask you then, do you feel maybe so you had said she reached out to you like, hey, can I come spend the night or something like that, right? Or you were hanging out, she was like, let me come
I
spend
was
the night
hanging
with
out,
you?
and she asked if she could stay the night, and we went and asked my parents, and they were okay with it. So we went to ask her dad, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're probably going to have 100 more questions for you. And like I said, if you think of anything else, go ahead and you know how you can text me, call me, email me, whatever. So, mods, thank you. And you know, just remember to try and keep it respectful. People are in the chat. Don't just go at them right away. Like Nikki B, she was not being rude. Like I said, everybody's feelings are different on this case. Everybody had different relationships with Courtney, and we are dragging these people through this again after 17 years and 3 months. And they're going through this all over again. So it's hard for everybody. So just try and remember that. Mr. Struble, thank you for being here. Hope your night at work goes well. Benny, thanks for being here. Love you, brother. Terry, love you, sister.
Love you.
Love you too.
Aw.
Kendra, you're one tough
Love
cookie.
ya.
Thank you for being here, and you're welcome back
Yes,
anytime.
thank you.
Anything that I can do to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Good night, everyone in chat. You all are awesome. Thank you for the super chats. And on your way out, drop those beautiful hearts for Justice for Courtney to show the
There you
family
go.
some love and support, too. Thanks again, Mr. Struble. Good night, guys.
Later, peeps.